Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here and welcome to my guide to Akademia Anyder, one of the 2 expert dungeons in patch 5.0. You can unlock this in Yulemoor on the bottom floor after completing the 5.0 main scenario quest. This dungeon has some pretty big lore, and thus it's definitely a spoiler, so only watch if spoilers don't bother you. Let's go. This dungeon's broken up into 3 bosses with trash, you know how it goes. To skip to a specific boss, please use the timestamps in the description. Trash leading up to the first boss is just made up of a bunch of sea creatures you've fought in other places. For less experienced tanks, pulling wall to wall in this first pull is actually pretty dangerous, especially with the size of the enemies and the numbers of AoEs to dodge. So if you're new, you may want to tell your party and take this part easy, otherwise, go ham. Of note, the sharks do a line AoE on their main target, better be the tank, where they charge forward, so watch for tank damage on that attack and stay out of any AoEs, including that one. Second room's just a few more enemies, and then you're on to the boss. Boss number 1 is made up of 2 street sharks, Cladocelic and Daliatus. One will always be swimming around the outside of the arena while you are fighting the other one. You'll start against Cladocelic, who uses Protolithic Puncture for a tank buster and Tidal Guillotine as a big point-blank AoE. After showing you Tidal Guillotine, Daliatus will swap places with Cladocelic. He uses the same tank buster, but he has an attack called Pelagic Cleaver, which is a giant conal AoE. Now that you've seen each shark's most basic attacks, Cladocelic will return to the arena and hit a portion of it with Tidal Guillotine. Stay away from whatever side he stops swimming near to avoid being hit. When Daliatus returns to the arena later, he will use Pelagic Cleaver, so you'll want to find him and make sure to get to the sides of the arena that aren't in front of him. When each shark returns for their second time, they will use a new attack. Cladocelic will begin using Aquatic Lance on a random party member after returning, which deals damage in an AoE around them and leaves behind a puddle. Place it somewhere on the side of the arena, out of the way. When Daliatus comes back for the second time, he will use Marine Mayhem, which is just damage to the whole party. The 2 brothers will keep alternating back and forth until you slay both of them. After you slay the first one, the remaining brother will buff his damage greatly and begin spamming attacks, so finish the remaining brother quick. They don't have much health on their own. As for trash up to the second boss, there's really nothing special. There's a pretty big pull here that's a lot of fun to AoE, and then there's some AoEs you need to avoid, but nothing really worth noting, so on to boss number 2. The second boss is Marquise Morble. He regularly places Sap Shower AoEs on several party members, increasing the number of them he uses as he gets lower on health, so be ready to spread out lightly. Arbor Storm is his AoE, and I didn't see a tank buster, but it wouldn't be the first time I've missed one, so feel free to call me out on it in the comment section if I just didn't see it. His main mechanic is Extensible Tendrils. Marquise will rotate and slam its tentacles repeatedly, you just have to avoid being in their path. After doing this several times though, Marquise will spit out poison from its mouth, so when you're avoiding the tentacles, also avoid the front side of the boss. When the boss does this anytime after the first, it will also blossom poison on several sections of the arena. Just keep avoiding the tendrils, spread out AoEs, watch Arbor Storm damage, and it's all fine. Trash leading up to boss number 3 is mostly easy enemies. To help with party damage though, players can stun or interrupt evil armors when they are casting Noe Hanto, as it just does a bunch of damage to the party. Other than that, it's more the usual, so on to the final boss. The final boss is Quetzalcoatl. Shockbolt is the tank buster, and Thunderbolt is a room-wide AoE. The first mechanic you'll see is Thunderstorm. This places AoEs on all 4 party members, as well as several AoEs to avoid around the arena. The AoEs not targeting players will leave behind Thunder Orbs, which can be collected to increase the player's damage. If you don't collect them, the boss will get the damage stacks instead after about 10 to 15 seconds, so just make sure to grab any nearby orbs. It's easier to track these if the boss is near the center of the room, so move them after doing any mechanic that would bring it to the outside. While you're collecting these, Quetzalcoatl will fire several conal AoEs, so avoid these too. The other mechanic here is Winding Current. Quetzalcoatl will fly away and summon several expanding orbs. It then reappears and knocks everyone to the opposite side of the arena. Knockback prevention doesn't work, but a well-timed movement skill can allow you to counter the knockback as it hits. Just be a little finicky to get the timing. Otherwise, just run back to the boss and get under its hitbox to avoid the giant donut AoE that Winding Current creates. Repeat Thunderstorm, repeat Winding Current, back and forth until the boss is dead. And that's a wrap for my guide to the Akademia Anyder. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned. We've still got a bunch of other videos in the works. Just excuse me if they take a little while, because I haven't had much of a break since Shadowbringers came out. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, take care.